Hi, my name is Luke, and we're just looking at virtual machines in this video. So we're looking at what they are, why would we use a virtual machine, and the different types of software products that we can use, which are called hypervisors. So to help understand what a virtual machine is, it's just important to explain what a physical machine is first. So it's a tangible object, like our desktop PC, or could be this laptop that I have in front of me right now. And in my laptop, I've got an Intel CPU. I've got some memory. I've got a hard disk, an optical drive. It's got a network adapter in it, and a motherboard. And so virtualization virtualizes all of these components to run virtual machines. Now, our physical machines environment is called the host environment, and our virtual machines are the guests. So yeah, they use the same components, but they're virtual. But these components, we can't just create them and not expect any cost associated with them. There is a cost, and that's in the resources that it needs to borrow from the host machine. So if I assign a CPU to my virtual machine, it's taking that away from the CPU that my host machine would use. Same with the memory too. If I'm using 4 gigabytes of memory for a virtual machine, it's taking that 4 gigabytes away from my host operating system. So they have to share, and if you're running multiple virtual machines all at once, they have to share resources as well. Um, and virtual machines, they are completely isolated from your host environment and from each other as well. So that means they run their own independent operating system. They don't have to run the same operating system either. So you can run a Windows 11 virtual machine, you can run Linux, Windows Server, pretty much anything really. Just depends on the hypervisor. So you want to make sure you have some powerful hardware in your physical machine. So I would recommend something like a quad-core CPU, at least 16 gigabytes of memory, and a solid-state hard drive with more than 64 gigabytes of free space. So you can go below these requirements, but this is just what I would recommend for the best performance. So why do we use VMs? Well, from a software development point of view, they come in handy when you're testing your applications, or if you're testing scripts, you can run them without causing harm to your host operating system environment. And if you do break anything, well, you can just simply create a virtual machine again, or you can restore from a checkpoint. So a checkpoint is just like a capture of that virtual machine at a specific point in time, and you can restore it to that point of time if you ever have a problem with the machine. Resource optimization and sustainability is front and center for most organizations nowadays, and so it's really important that they utilize, this technology to use hardware more efficiently. So organizations, they'll have these powerful rack mount servers with a ton of processing power and memory and storage. And to take advantage of that, you want to run virtual machines on them. And you also want to run virtual machines because virtual machines provide some segregation of services. So for example, if you're running a web server, an email server, and an Active Directory server, you don't want to run them, all together under the one operating system. You want to install them on separate virtual machines, which will provide you with better capability to maintain them. So if you have a problem with one service, or if you need to apply updates or patches, you can apply it just to that service and it won't affect all your other services. Another reason why you guys might be interested in using virtual machines is just for learning. So we can use them just to, mess around with different applications and just, try new things without risking harm to our normal operating system environment. And then we've got virtual desktop infrastructure. So this is something that an organization might choose to do if they don't want to invest heavily into physical computers. They can just run thin clients, which are just like, really basic machines that just have enough processing power just to connect remotely to a virtual desktop environment. And the benefit of that is as well is that you can jump on any thin client within the company and you can access the same desktop environment just over the network. And then lastly, I've got here to run legacy applications and operating systems in virtual machines. So if you want to run Windows XP to run an old program, you can do that in a virtual machine. Now let's look at hypervisors. So a hypervisor is the software that makes virtualization possible. And there are two types of hypervisors. So there's the type 1, which is referred to as bare metal. And it's bare metal because it has direct access to the underlying hardware of the host. So it doesn't need to go through the host operating system to access that hardware. So performance is much better with a type 1 hypervisor. It's much more efficient, and security is also beneficial there as well. Now with a type 2 hypervisor, it's not as good as a type 1 hypervisor. You don't get direct access to the hardware. It has to run through the host operating system, which can introduce some latency and may not be as secure. So that's hypervisors. And now on the last slide here, I've just got a list of hypervisors here. So for type 1, there's KVM. That one's a Linux-based hypervisor. It's free and it's open source. And then there's Red Hat Enterprise Virtualization. It's based on KVM, but it is a commercial product, so it's not freely available. Citrix Zen Server, another commercial product there. Pretty much all of these type 1 hypervisors are commercial products. And then Hyper-V is just a feature or a role you can run within the Windows Server operating system. And lastly, I've got VMware, vSphere, or ESXi. They hold the greatest amount of market share in the virtualization space. They just have some innovative and advanced features in their products, which the enterprises love. So then we've got type 2 hypervisors, so Oracle VM VirtualBox, VMware Workstation Player, and Windows Virtual PC. And Windows Virtual PC was, it's not supported anymore, but it was a product in Windows 7. So it was just a feature which you could use to run Windows XP or Windows Vista in a virtual machine. So I'm just here in my host operating system environment, just running Windows 10. And in the VirtualBox Manager, I've got a VM set up ready to go. It's a Windows 11 VM. And now I'm just going to start it so we can see what that looks like. So it's turning on now. Booting up. Oh, has it frozen? Yeah, another downside with Type 2 hypervisors like this is that it's not as reliable as a Type 1 hypervisor, unfortunately. Oh no, it wasn't frozen. It's come back. I was almost going to shut it down. Now it is using a mechanical hard drive at the moment, so yeah, the speed isn't too great. Alright, I'm just going to pop in my password. And here we are in our isolated virtual machine environment. So yeah, I'm running a different operating system here and it's completely clean. I only just installed it. So no programs or no data on it at the moment. And I'll shut it down now. And yeah, that's about all.